may want to take your braids out just while you're going on interviews. Hi. Okay, so I'm back for another braid out. It's been a while, so let's do this braid out because you know this is only my one of two hairstyles that I wear. So anyway, let's do this braid out. And you know what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the Crown Act. I think I probably talked about it in another video before. Who knows what it was talking about, but specifically, we're going to talk about the Crown Act and does it really work? So if you're not familiar, the Crown Act is an act that basically says employers can't discriminate against, we'll say, people of color who have certain hairstyles. I'll put up the actual wording for you right now. So you can't discriminate, right? Can't discriminate. If I go on a job interview and I have braids in my hair or locks in my hair, you can't discriminate. So anyway, I just been thinking about this recently. I'm like, does this really work? Like even when the act was first introduced or whatever, I was thinking to myself, okay, yeah, people are really still gonna discriminate because that's just the society that we live in. Fine. So I started thinking back to like years ago before the Crown Act was even a thing. I remember a friend of mine, she was like, "Ooh, girl," she was going through a temp agency to get a job. We were in like our early 20s. So she was going through a temp agency to get a job. By the way, these braids have been up for over a week, so it's definitely time to take them down. And honestly, I'll probably wash my hair tomorrow and braid it back up. But today, I need them out because I'm hanging out with friends. So anyway, okay, so she was going through a temp agency to get a job, and then she called me. She was like, "Oh my God, I got a placement for a job and it's tomorrow. And I have these braids in my hair. Can you help me take my braids out?" And so being the good friend, you know, I'm like, of course I'll help you take your braids out, because she wanted to make a good impression at the job that she was going to. And so she didn't want to go in with individual braids. You guys know with temp agencies, you temp and sometimes you have the opportunity to be on full time. So she wanted to make a good impression. So she's like, "Can you help me take my braids out?" So I helped her take her braids out, and she just kind of wore her hair slicked back into like a little bun or a ponytail or whatever. I don't think she ended up getting the job for whatever reason. It was probably just a temp position and they weren't trying to hire people on, but she just did her temp assignment without her braids, and that was it. So I started thinking about myself. I've never, you guys know I've been locked for, this is my third lock journey, but I've never went on a job interview with braids or locks in my hair. I guess have been fortunate enough to have jobs where I stayed a long time, because before and I'm in California and we're pretty liberal here, but still I think that you have to be mindful. Even today, you have to be mindful of the way you present yourself, the way you dress, the way you wear your hair, just the way you look overall. I mean, they've done studies that say that people who look good, meaning dress well, you know, keep themselves together, they get treated better. Like, that's just the reality. I wish we could go outside looking crazy or whatever, and you can, but just be prepared to be treated a certain way. That's just the truth. You can agree, disagree, whatever. That is just the truth. They've done studies on that. So anyway, I before teaching, and this is my 10th year teaching, I can't believe it, but before teaching, I was in HR at one of the film studios for 10 years. When I first got that job, I remember I had a press, my hair, it was cute, and I had some bangs. I remember that hairstyle in that job interview. It was so cute. Anyway, so I got that job with that. While I was at the job, of course, I wore braids, and I did start locking my hair at that job. When I started locking my hair, I can't remember if people made comments. I'm sure they did. I can't remember if people made comments about my locks during me starting them. I can't remember. That's besides the point right now. But when I left that job, my hair was natural. So when I went into subbing, because I subbed first before I got a teaching position, a permanent teaching position, I subbed first. And then when I interviewed for my teaching position, I can't talk, sorry, with the district that I am with right now, my hair was in like a natural, like a twist out. That's what it was. It was a twist out. And then when I started, you know, teaching or whatever, I locked my hair again, and I'm still locked. So I've never actually went on a job interview with braids, dreads, locks, whatever. I've never been on a job interview. Now, if I were to go and interview at a new job, I think I'd be okay. I think I can pull my hair back into a nice ponytail or whatever. But you know, you just have to be mindful. Also, I started thinking about the Crown Act once again because my son, who is 19 years old, is looking for a second job. So he works now at Chick-fil-A. And when he got the job at Chick-fil-A, his hair, I believe, was just like in a little curly fro. You know, his hair is 4C like mine. So he'll put the little, you know, whatever you need to do to make it like curly or whatever, right? Like a cute style for boys, teenagers, whatever. So when he first got the job, that's how he had his hair. Now he wears his hair in the little braids, and I braid it for him. So it's just like the braids that you see all the young guys wearing, the basketball players, the rappers, whoever, all the guys have this cute little braided hairstyle. So he's been on so many interviews, I can't count, and they're all for like food service, just like casual jobs, and he's not getting callbacks. Now, I don't know how he's going into his interviews. He always tells us, oh yeah, the interview went well. Who knows how he's going into the interviews? But I think he's pretty intelligent and pretty smart. I mean, to know how to get a job, right? He has all the skills. So right now I'm at the point where I'm telling him, you may want to take your braids out. Just while you're going on interviews, wear your little curly do, because they may be discriminating against you because of how you look. I see, you know what I see, young black male, cute, hip, whatever. They might see thug, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Even if you go in and you have this professional language and all that good stuff, they may not want someone like you. And it's so sad to think this, but they may not want somebody like you to represent their company. Shame on them. Shame on them, because it really doesn't matter the way you look. You just need to be able to give off great customer service and great work ethic, all that good stuff. But sadly, people discriminate against you. So I keep telling him, you may want to take your braids out, take your braids out. And then when you get into the company, then start braiding your hair again. I don't know what else to say. So that made me come back to thinking, you know, like, does the Crown Act really work? Or are employers still discriminating against you? And I think the answer is probably yes, unfortunately. Not in all instances, but in some. The town where my son is interviewing is predominantly white, so that could be a thing. I'm sure if he were in Atlanta, for instance, he may not have any issues. But you have, where we are, whatever, you have to learn to play to your audience. You have to learn to play the game. Should we have to do that? Absolutely not. But that's just the way it is. We live by a different set of rules. And it's sad to say, but that's just how it goes. So I was just thinking about that. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Does the Crown Act work? And then another thing is, how do you know if people, how do you know if your employer is discriminating against you for your hairstyle? I guess you could prove it if you are actually working at the company and they say something to you like you can't wear your hair like that, or all the instances where some of the kids are going to these private schools and they have rules about locks or whatever, messy hair, so they call it, or whatever. So I guess the Crown Act works in that sense. But as far as interviewing for a job, Crown Act, I don't know how you'd be able to protect someone, because they could honestly say, oh, well, you know, we went with another candidate and da-da-da-da-da. You know, it didn't have anything to do with their appearance, but deep down it probably did. That's just the way it is. Okay, I'm done. I think I'll wear it out like this today. It's long. Oh, sorry. It's long, you guys. Look. Look. I'm gonna be doing my video, my 6-year video pretty soon here, but I just wanted to come in because that was something that has been on my mind. I'm like, let me just get this off my chest, this Crown Act thing. So anyway, later, look at this one right here. I had rubber banded up because I didn't like the end sticking out, and now it's all curly, whatever. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. So here, I'm back to show you guys the results. I did put a little edge control on my edges or whatever, but yeah, here is the final. Oh, we still got one left. Here's the final do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.